When money comes from God, keep quiet and stay wise. Listen carefully. When your season of abundance finally arrives, when what you prayed for in silence begins to show itself in your hands, when the drought turns into rivers and your empty hands begin to overflow, that is not the time to shout. That is the time to bow. The loudest worship is not always the one that people hear. It is the one that is expressed through your discipline, your humility, and your silence. When money comes from God, you don't boast, you build. You don't parade your blessings, you protect them with wisdom. For many, money becomes a trap, not because money is evil, but because the heart loses direction once it tastes prosperity. The blessing that was meant to lift them becomes the reason they fall. But the one who understands the source knows that money is not the price God is. Money is only the evidence that God has trusted you with something bigger than yourself. It is a test of maturity, not a certificate of success. It is God's way of saying, I have watched you in the valley, now let me see you on the mountain. When God blesses you, silence becomes a shield. You must learn to move quietly, because not everyone who claps for you wants your blessing to multiply. Some smile but pray in secret that you fall. Some say congratulations, but in their heart they plot your downfall. And so God gives the wise a silent spirit when He begins to lift them. He teaches them the beauty of being hidden even while they rise. Do not announce your wealth. Let your peace announce it. Do not display your prosperity. Let your discipline display it. Because when God gives, it's not for the world to see, it's for His purpose to be fulfilled through you. There is a season when you cry out to God for provision. You fast, you pray, you wait, and then one day doors open, business flows, ideas expand, opportunities multiply, the accounts that once read zero begin to overflow, and your spirit rejoices. But hear me, this is the moment when spiritual maturity is tested. Many can praise God when they have nothing, but few can stay humble when they have everything. God watches how you handle wealth the same way. He watched how you handled waiting. When you had nothing, you were on your knees. Now that you have something, do you still bow? When money comes from God, it carries an assignment. Every coin, every opportunity, every open door is tied to purpose. Money given by God is not meant to make you boast. It is meant to make you build. Build your family, build your future, build others, build what glorifies God. Money in the hands of the wise multiplies life, but money in the hands of the proud multiplies destruction. So when God fills your hands, ask not, how much do I have? Ask God, what do you want me to do with this? Because divine provision always comes with a divine instruction. Silence is a form of gratitude. When God elevates you financially, silence tells heaven, I am grateful and I am guarding what you've given me. You see, not everything that is blessed needs to be broadcasted. The wise learn to hide their treasures, not out of fear, but out of discernment. There are spiritual vultures who feed on the noise of those who cannot keep quiet. When you talk too much about your blessing, you open spiritual doors for envy to enter. But when you stay silent, God Himself becomes your God. When God gives you money, do not make it your new master. Let it remain your servant. Do not let your wealth speak louder than your worship. Do not let prosperity replace purity. Do not let luxury silence prayer. Do not let abundance dull your hunger for the presence of God. For the true danger of wealth is not the money itself, it is the arrogance that can follow it. The same hands that once begged God for a miracle can become the hands that forget Him. But the one who stays humble, quiet, and wise becomes a channel of divine increase. God will keep pouring because He knows that your heart will never worship what your hands hold. There are people who lose everything the moment they start showing off. They post what they should protect. They talk about what they should treasure in silence. They attract envy, jealousy, and the eyes of those whose hearts are darkened by comparison. That is why when your blessing comes, stay quiet. Let people wonder how you prospered. Let them guess how it happened. You owe no one an explanation for what God is doing in your life. Because when you explain too much, you invite contamination into what God is still building. When money comes from God, it does not come to destroy your character, it comes to reveal it. The humble will become more generous, but the proud will become unbearable. Money only multiplies what's inside you. So if your heart is right, your wealth will bless many. But if your heart is corrupt, your wealth will destroy you. That is why God delays prosperity for some people, not because He doesn't want them to prosper, but because He wants their hearts to mature first. He wants them to learn contentment before increase. He wants them to learn gratitude before abundance. He wants them to learn silence before success. Be careful not to let your blessing speak louder than your faith. The richest people in spirit are often the quietest in speech. They understand that wealth is not for showing off, it is for showing wisdom. The one who truly understands prosperity never brags, never competes, never compares. They know that real success is peace, real prosperity is balance. Real wealth is having God's favor, not people's approval. When money comes from God, it comes with peace. But when money comes from pride, it comes with problems. You must also understand that not every blessing is meant to be shared with everyone. Some things God gives you in secret because He wants to protect you. There are blessings meant for your eyes only. There are doors that are not to be announced until they are secured. There are opportunities that lose their power when they are spoken too soon. So stay quiet when God begins to lift you. Learn to move in silence while heaven shouts over you. The greatest power is in hidden progress. The strongest faith is in quiet obedience. Some people destroy their own favor by talking too much. They expose what should be concealed. They boast about what should be protected. And the moment they do, opposition rises, enemies awaken, and jealousy begins to work. But the wise, those who walk closely with God, understand that silence is safety. When God starts blessing you financially, even your friends will change. Some will begin to distance themselves because they can't handle your elevation. Others will draw near with the hidden motives. That's why you must let God teach you discernment as your wealth grows. Not everyone deserves access to what God gave you. Never let money make you forget where you came from. The same valley that taught you patience must remain in your memory. Remember the nights you prayed with tears, the seasons you had nothing but faith, the moments when you survived on hope alone. Let those memories keep you grounded when you have more than enough. Because the moment you forget your past, you lose the humility that protects your future. Money can build houses, but it cannot build character. It can buy comfort, but it cannot buy peace. Only God gives peace, and peace is what sustains prosperity. When God blesses you, your responsibility increases. Wealth from God is not a decoration, it's an assignment. It means you must now handle resources on behalf of heaven. You become a manager, not an owner. You become a steward of divine trust. So use your money to bless the poor quietly. Use it to lift others without letting your name be known. True generosity is done in silence. The left hand should not know what the right hand is doing, because the moment you are giving becomes a show, it loses its reward. Give quietly. Bless silently. Let your actions speak where your words remain silent. When money comes from God, it brings direction. It doesn't confuse you. It doesn't make you restless. It doesn't make you arrogant. It gives you clarity. You start to see that the purpose of prosperity is not luxury, it's legacy. God doesn't make you rich so you can sit in pride. He makes you rich so you can stand in influence. He doesn't fill your account so you can boast. He fills it so you can become a channel of provision for others. But you can only handle this level of blessing if your heart remains humble and your lips remain quiet. There is a deep connection between humility and preservation. What you hide, God protects. What you expose prematurely, you risk losing. The seed that grows in silence becomes the strongest tree. So when your financial breakthrough arrives, guard it with the silence until it is rooted deep enough to survive storms. Move with wisdom, dress with dignity, spend with balance, speak with caution, walk with humility. Let your wealth be seen in your peace, not in your possessions. Understand this: when you receive money from God, your enemies will awaken. Not because you hurt them, but because your elevation exposed their envy. That's why silence is not weakness, it's warfare. It is how you protect your spirit from unnecessary attacks. Do not argue with those who misunderstand your blessing. Do not try to prove your worth. The proof is already in the peace God gives you. The wise do not defend their success. They demonstrate it through calmness, consistency, and gratitude. There will be moments when people question how you suddenly rose. They will say, "How did it happen?" They will gossip. They will assume. Let them. You do not owe explanations for divine favor. The same God who blessed you will silence their doubts. Keep walking, and keep worshiping in silence. The day will come when your results speak so loudly that your silence will become your loudest testimony. The one who talks too much about wealth invites both admiration and attack. But the one who stays hidden draws divine protection. The quiet rich, the humble successful, the unseen giver, these are the ones God continues to trust because He knows they value purpose over publicity. He knows they seek His will, not people's applause. So when God blesses you financially, close your mouth and open your spirit. Ask for wisdom to manage what you've received. Ask for strength to remain humble. Ask for grace to use it well. Some people lose everything because they wanted everyone to know they had something. Their blessing became their burden because they could not stay silent. But you, when your time comes, stay calm. Let your heart whisper gratitude, not your mouth shout it before men. God loves the sound of hidden gratitude. The quiet thank you spoken in secret is more powerful than 1,000 public boasts because it comes from purity, not performance. When God brings financial abundance, it is also season of testing. He observes how you treat people who have less. He watches if your tone changes. He listens if your heart still prays the same. He notices if your giving still flows. If your character remains steady, He increases you more. But if your pride grows faster than your gratitude, He withdraws His hand. Because God's blessings are not permanent if pride enters. Only the humble can sustain divine wealth. Remember this: God never gives money to impress you. He gives it to empower you. He doesn't make you rich to compete. He makes you rich to complete His purpose. So when you have wealth, Use it as a weapon of goodness. Pay school fees for those who can afford it. Feed those who are hungry. Support dreams. Heal wounds. Restore hope. But do it quietly. The world doesn't need to know the details of your obedience. Only God needs to see it. Because the secret place is where blessings multiply. Even in wealth, remain disciplined. Don't let comfort make you lazy. Keep working, keep planning, keep growing. Wealth without vision disappears fast. Money from God demands structure, stewardship, and spiritual awareness. You must learn when to spend, when to save, and when to sow. The unwise scatter what they should have planted. The wise invest what they should have stored. Be strategic, be prayerful, be intentional. That's how wealth becomes legacy. Your silence will not only protect your money, it will preserve your peace. You will sleep better when fewer people know your plans. You will live safer when your progress is private. You will walk freer when your success is silent. The noise of the world cannot touch those who dwell in quiet wisdom. So when the blessing comes, guard your environment. Do not let wrong people enter your new season. Some are drawn not to your heart, but to your harvest. That's why discernment is crucial when abundance arrives. Learn to say less and observe more. Listen to how people speak about others who have risen, because that is exactly how they will speak about you. Do not correct them. Simply note who can handle your success and who cannot. Sometimes silence is the greatest filter. Those who truly love you will celebrate you quietly. Those who envy you will reveal themselves through their discomfort. Your job is not to fix them, it is to stay wise and keep walking. Money from God is sacred. It carries His fingerprint. Handle it with reverence. Do not waste it on vanity or impressing others. Use it to fund the purpose. Use it to sow into what has eternal value. Use it to bring light where there is darkness. That is how divine prosperity multiplies. It is never about spending, it's about sending. Sending help, sending hope, sending healing. Your wealth becomes your ministry when handled with wisdom. And when people start to ask why, you so quiet about your success. Smile and say, because not everything God does in me is for public eyes. Let your humility confuse the proud. Let your discipline convict the careless. Let your silence become a sermon that preaches louder than your words. That is the posture of those who are trusted with divine increase. They shine quietly, build steadily, and give secretly. You must understand too that true wisdom with money is not in how much you earn, but in how much peace you maintain. Some people have millions but can't sleep. Others have little but rest deeply. Why? Because peace is not in the numbers, it's in the source. When money comes from God, it carries calmness. When it comes from self, it carries struggle. So protect your peace more than your profit. If wealth steals your rest, it is no longer a blessing, it has become a burden. There will come a time when God will tell you to give in secret what He gave in abundance. Do not resist. That giving is not loss, it is a test. Every seed you plant in silence will return multiplied. Those who brag about giving have already received their reward, but those who give in silence are storing treasures in eternity. God sees what others do not, and He rewards what others cannot. Stay wise when God prospers you. Don't let every opportunity excite you. Some offers are traps disguised as blessings. Some partnerships are delays wrapped in promises. Pray before you sign anything. Consult God before you commit to anyone. Money that comes from God can easily be lost when you connect it to the wrong people. Be selective. Guard your atmosphere. Your peace is worth more than any profit. When God elevates you, don't change your values, strengthen them. Keep the same humility that brought you this far. Keep the same gratitude that sustained you in lack. Keep the same faith that carried you through darkness. Because the danger of success is forgetting who guided you there. If you keep God first, He will keep everything else in order. If you forget Him, even the strongest structure will crumble. Silence is not weakness, it is strength under control. It is the mark of those who understand the language of heaven. God often moves quietly, and those who reflect Him move the same. The ocean makes no noise, yet it holds infinite power. So when God fills your life with abundance, let your calmness reveal your confidence in Him. Speak only when necessary, and let your fruit speak for you. One day, people will look at your life and say, "How did it happen?" And you will smile, not because you want to explain, but because you know that only God could have done it. That's the beauty of silent prosperity. It glorifies God more than words ever could. When your peace increases, when your joy grows, when your life becomes stable and balanced, people will see that your wealth was not from manipulation or luck, it was from divine alignment. When money comes from God, it is not merely provision, it is purpose wrapped in responsibility. It is heaven's trust placed into human hands. When that divine supply enters your life, understand this truth. Not everything that looks like a success is meant to be shown. Some blessings are sacred, meant to be hidden until their fruit matures. If you reveal them too early, you expose what is still being shaped by the hands of God. When God gives you money, He is not only giving you comfort, He is testing your capacity to remain faithful in silence. He wants to see if you will still depend on Him when your wallet is full. If your voice will still whisper prayers when your needs seem met. There are seasons when God withholds money, not to punish you, but to prepare you. He hides wealth behind the work so that by the time you receive it, your character can carry. Because wealth in immature hands becomes a curse, not a blessing. But when the heart is molded in humility, when the spirit is trained in discipline, and when the mouth is taught silence, then wealth becomes a tool of divine influence. It builds, it heals, it uplifts, and it multiplies good. That is why when the blessing finally arrives, silence must remain your companion. Speak only when God instructs. Move only when God directs. Spend only where God approves. For every coin from heaven carries a divine instruction attached to it. Money that comes from God has a fragrance. It smells of peace. It does not cause confusion. It does not demand compromise. It enters quietly but changes everything around you. It aligns your steps, restores your dignity, and empowers your vision. And yet, even in that peace, God watches how you move. He listens to your tone when you speak to others. He observes your attitude toward those still waiting for their breakthrough, because He knows how you treat people. In your abundance determines whether your increase continues or ceases. The humble attract more, while the proud repel divine favor. The heart that says, "God, this is yours. I am only the steward," become the magnet for sustained prosperity. If God can trust you with the money, He can trust you with the influence. And if He can trust you with the influence, He will trust you with the legacy. But it all begins with the restraint. with the wisdom to stay quiet when the noise of success tempts you to boast. The louder you become, the more you attract the attention of those who do not understand your calling. But when you remain silent, you protect the purity of what God is doing. Silence becomes your armor. It keeps envy far, and it invites divine favor near. Do not let the applause of people deceive you into revealing what God told you to hide. The claps of men can become the chains that trap your destiny. When people start praising your wealth, smile with humility, but never let it enter your spirit. Praise belongs only to God. You may enjoy the blessing, but never take ownership of the glory. For every time you point the glory back to God, you strengthen the roots of your prosperity. You anchor your wealth in heaven's soil, and nothing on earth can uproot it. Some people lose the blessing because they confuse ownership with stewardship. They begin to believe they created their success by their own power, forgetting that it was God who gave the breath, the strength, the wisdom, the opportunities, and the favor. Money without remembrance of God becomes a poison. It blinds the eyes, hardens the heart, and drowns the spirit. But the wise continually remind themselves, everything I have is from God. This simple confession keeps the heart soft and the hand open. The moment you forget that truth, your hand begins to close, and what was flowing begins to stop. The wise man does not chase wealth, he attracts it through alignment with the divine order. When your life honors God, when your character reflects discipline, when your words carry humility, wealth becomes drawn to you naturally. You will not need to manipulate or compete. What is yours will find you, because God Himself is the distributor of resources. And when He releases it into your hands, He expects reverence. You must use it not to dominate others, but to demonstrate wisdom. You must let it become an instrument of peace, not the symbol of pride. The quiet rich are the ones who last. They don't shout about their riches, but their impact speaks across generations. They walk with peace, talk with restraint, and give without noise. They do not need to announce their generosity because heaven announces it for them. That is what happens when money comes from God. It carries a light that cannot be hidden, even when you walk silently. Your presence begins to command respect, not because you are loud, but because you are consistent, calm, and wise. Understand that every divine blessing has a gatekeeper, and that gatekeeper is character. Before God releases great wealth, He tests your attitude toward small amounts. If you complain over little, you will corrupt much. If you are careless with little, you will be reckless with abundance. But when you are faithful in the small, God begins to enlarge your capacity. So when He finally gives you what you prayed for, stay faithful to the same principle that brought you there. The same prayer that opened the door must be the prayer that sustains it. The same discipline that attracted favor must be the discipline that protects it. When God begins to bless you, not everyone will understand. Some will say, you changed. Others will accuse you of pride simply because you now have a peace. Do not argue. Do not defend yourself. Let your fruits speak louder than your explanations. Let your wisdom answer their noise. For those who truly walk with God know that prosperity is not about showing, it's about shining. You shine through your integrity. You shine through your patience. You shine through the way you handle power quietly. Every coin that enters your hand should have a mission. Ask yourself, is this money fulfilling God's purpose in my life? If it is only feeding vanity, you are mismanaging a divine resource. But if it is building, helping, uplifting, and blessing, then you are multiplying what God entrusted you with. Remember, money that fulfills purpose multiplies itself. But money that feeds ego eventually evaporates. The wise do not chase more. They manage well. That is how divine provision sustains itself. There are moments when God will ask you to give secretly, to bless someone without your name being mentioned. Obey that whisper. It is in those quiet acts that heaven measures the sincerity of your heart. You do not need an audience to be obedient. The greatest rewards come from the seeds planted in silence. While others chase recognition, chase righteousness, while others seek fame, seek favor, while others count followers, count blessings. When you learn to keep quiet after receiving wealth, you also protect your spiritual hearing. Noise distorts discernment. If you start boasting and talking too much, you lose the stillness needed to hear divine instruction. But in silence, God continues to speak. He will guide you on where to invest, who to trust, when to give, and when to wait. That is how He preserves those He prospers. The loud ones fall quickly because they mistake excitement for direction. The quiet ones rise steadily because they move with divine timing. The wealthy who remain humble understand that their real treasure is not in the bank, it is in their peace, their health, and their relationship with God. They do not measure success by possession, but by purpose. They may have gold, but they serve God, not gold. And because of that heart posture, their riches continue to serve them rather than enslave them. The moment you start serving money, it becomes your master. But when you make money serve God's plan, it becomes your instrument. When God elevates you financially, you will notice that He starts removing certain people from your circle. Do not resist it. Some cannot handle your new season. Some will start comparing instead of celebrating. Some will secretly envy what you carry. God removes them not because you hate them, but because He wants to protect you. Learn to detach peacefully. You do not need to explain every distance. Let silence do the separation. When you stay quiet, you allow God to fight the unseen battles around your blessing. Always remember that the greatest enemy of wealth is pride. Pride whispers, you did this, but wisdom whispers, God allowed this. The moment you start believing the former, your downfall begins. Pride steals what gratitude sustains. Gratitude is the spiritual lock that keeps your blessing from leaking away. So every morning you wake up in abundance, whisper quietly, "Thank you, God, I am nothing without you." That whisper carries more power than any public declaration. It invites God to stay involved in your success. True. Prosperity is not measured by the number of possessions, but by the depth of peace in your soul. If your wealth costs you your peace, it is not from God. If it makes you anxious, competitive, and restless, it has become a trap. But when the source is divine, peace flows naturally. You sleep deeply, you give freely, you live calmly. That is the signature of wealth from heaven. It blesses without burden. And yet, even as you walk in peace, be alert. The enemy of your soul will try to use money to distract you from purpose. He will tempt you with comparison, competition, and comfort. But you must remember, purpose is greater than possession. The mission God gave you is worth more than the lifestyle you dream of. Money is a tool to serve your calling, not a throne to sit on. Let your wealth work for your destiny, not against it. when God gives money, He gives it with the expectation of multiplication. Not just multiplication in numbers, but multiplication in impact. What He gives you is meant to touch others. Your wealth is meant to become light in someone else's darkness. But you can only achieve that if you remain wise and silent. Because the moment you begin to seek praise for what you give, the spiritual reward diminishes. Stay quiet and let heaven keep the record. God's record keeping is more reliable than human recognition. In the stillness of prosperity, you find the highest form of worship, obedience. When your heart says, God, even in abundance, I am yours, that is worship. When your lips stay sealed, but your actions echo generosity, that is worship. When you could boast, but choose gratitude, that is worship. When you have more than enough, but still live with discipline, that is worship. True worship is not in sound, it is in submission. So when money comes from God, guard your heart like a sacred garden. Do not let pride grow there. Water it with gratitude. Fence it with humility. Keep the weeds of comparison away. And watch how God continues to add more, not because you asked, but because He can trust you. He adds to those who stay faithful in silence. And if there comes a time when your wealth attracts critics, stay calm. Let them talk. You do not need to justify divine favor. You do not need to explain your growth to those who cannot understand your grace. Silence is your best defense, for in the quiet, God Himself speaks on your behalf. He will turn your critics into witnesses. He will turn your silence into a testimony that cannot be denied. Because at the end of it all, the wealth that comes from God is not just about possession, it is about preparation. He blesses you so you can be a blessing. He fills you so you can pour out. He enriches you so you can extend His goodness across the earth. And the one who understands this truth never lets money corrupt their peace or contaminate their purpose. They stay rooted in silence, clothed in wisdom, and covered by divine grace. When money comes from God, the wisest thing you can do is stay quiet, stay grateful, and stay grounded. Because true wealth is not measured by what fills your account, it is measured by what fills your heart. When the blessing finally reaches your hands, let humility rise higher than your possessions. Let gratitude speak louder than your success. And let your peace shine brighter than your prosperity. God gives not to inflate your ego, but to increase your impact. He blesses you not to make you boast, but to make you a vessel of His abundance. So protect what He gives you with silence. Guard it with wisdom. Build with purpose. And remember always, the wealth that comes from God is not a display. It is a divine trust. Handle it with reverence. Manage it with discipline. Multiply it with integrity. Because when you stay humble in prosperity, when you keep God at the center of your abundance, no storm can shake you, no envy can touch you, and no loss can destroy you. Those who boast fade quickly, but those who stay silent rise steadily. Those who brag attract trouble, but those who move wisely attract the divine protection. Those who worship money lose peace, but those who worship God gain everything. So walk in quiet strength. Let your success whisper. Let your heart remain low, even as your blessings rise high. And never forget, the same God who gave it can give more again and again to the one who remains faithful, silent, and wise. Listen to me very closely. What if I told you that God is about to fill your bank account, not by chance, not by luck, not by the hands of men, but by divine orchestration? What if I told you that the same God who created gold, silver, and every resource under heaven has already decided to transfer wealth into your hands? Many hear these words and doubt. They say, it's impossible. I have nothing. I am surrounded by debt. I am far from abundance. But I tell you today, when God is ready to move, nothing on earth or in hell can stop Him. When God speaks increase, the universe rearranges itself to obey. You are about to witness the supernatural hand of God turning your lack into overflow, your emptiness into abundance, your despair into laughter. God is about to fill your bank account, not just to bless you, but to prove that He is still the provider of all who trust in Him. The power to create wealth does not come from human skill, it comes from God. Many people work endlessly, yet remain in lack because they rely only on their effort. But when the favor of God touches your work, what you earn multiplies beyond the logic. God can bless one decision, one meeting, one opportunity so powerfully that it wipes away years of struggle. This is how God moves, suddenly, unexpectedly, and overwhelmingly. You may be in a season where it feels like everything is still, like nothing is working, but don't be deceived by silence. God works most in the unseen. He is preparing doors of wealth, partnerships of purpose, and miracles of provision that will shock even you. You will stand and say, this is not the work of my hand, this is the work of God. Do not limit God with your imagination. He does not operate within the boundaries of your salary, your job title, or your education. When God decides to bless, He breaks systems to favor His chosen ones. He will use people who once ignored you to bring resources into your life. He will cause the hearts of kings to remember your name. God has placed you in divine alignment with opportunities that have been waiting for your arrival. You think you are late, but you are right on time. There is no such thing as delay when you walk under God's divine timing. The wealth that belongs to you is stored in heaven's account, and God is about to release it into your hands. But before God fills your bank account, He must first fill your mind. You cannot hold the divine wealth with a fearful mind. Poverty is not only a condition, it is a mindset. Many pray for increase but think in scarcity. They ask for abundance while doubting whether they deserve it. God cannot pour into a vessel that rejects His gift. That is why He is renewing your thoughts first. He is teaching you to see money not as an idol, but as an instrument of purpose. When your heart aligns with His purpose, your hands will attract everything you need. Money will no longer control you. It will serve your destiny. There are moments in life when God decides to accelerate everything. You will look around and see that doors once locked have swung open. You will witness divine speed that others cannot explain. It will not be because of luck or strategy. It will be because God has marked you for divine wealth. When that happens, stay humble. Do not forget that it was not your power that produced it. It was God's favor. God gives to those who remember Him in plenty, not only in need. That is why the truly wealthy in spirit are always grateful, always giving, always aware that they are merely stewards of divine resources. Listen carefully. Wealth is a tool in the hands of those who understand divine purpose. God does not bless you just so you can live in luxury. He blesses you so you can expand His goodness on the earth. When your heart says, God, whatever you give me, I will use for good, heaven responds. because the heart that gives without pride will never run dry. God is about to fill your bank account because He trusts that you will not worship the blessing, but the one who gives it. He knows you have walked through seasons of lack without cursing Him. He has seen you honor Him with a little, and now He is ready to trust you with much. When God blesses, He blesses beyond measure. Look at the stars, they are countless. Look at the ocean, it overflows. When God gives, He never gives in portions. He gives in abundance. So why do you expect small miracles? Lift your face to match the size of God. Stop praying as if you are asking a reluctant giver. God does not struggle to bless His children. He delights in it. He is not calculating whether He can afford to help you. He owns everything. When you understand that your source is unlimited, your fear of shortage disappears. God's wealth does not arrive through greed. It arrives through obedience. Some people chase money and lose themselves. Others chase God and find wealth chasing them. That is the divine order. Seek God's will first, and the resources will come naturally. God never leaves His obedient children empty-handed. Every time you choose integrity over shortcuts, you store treasure in heaven that will manifest on earth. Every time you give, even when it hurts, you prove that your faith is greater than your fear. These moments unlock the flow of divine wealth. You may ask, how can God fill my bank account when everything around me looks dry? My friend, remember this. God specializes in filling emptiness. He multiplies from nothing. He took darkness and created light. He took dust and formed humanity. So, what makes you think He cannot take your small savings, your little effort, your empty account, and transform it into overflow? God does not need much to do much. He only needs your faith. When you believe that He can, heaven begins to move. Faith is the currency of the divine economy. The more you trust, the more you attract. You may have been in a season of testing. Every bill felt heavier. Every delay felt painful. But God was not punishing you. He was preparing you. Before He fills your account, He strengthens your character. Because if your heart is not ready for abundance, wealth becomes a trap. God's process is always protective. He's refining you through hardship so that when the blessing comes, it will not destroy you. Many want the glory without the growth, but God is too wise to give blessings that break you. So if you are still waiting, rejoice. Your preparation is a sign that the blessing is near. There will be a moment, and it will come soon, when you wake up and realize that the struggle has ended. Your debt will disappear. Your business will multiply, and your name will be spoken in rooms of opportunity you never entered. This is how God elevates His faithful ones. You will not need to fight for recognition. God Himself will endorse you. The right people will find you. The right doors will open. And the right opportunities will flow toward you without force. This is divine wealth transfer when God moves resources from the hands of the ungodly to the righteous. He is aligning the earth right now for that transfer, and your name is written in that plan. When God fills your bank account, do not hide your testimony. Speak boldly of His faithfulness, because every story of abundance is a seed of hope for someone still struggling. Your success is not just about you, it's about the people God will bless through you. You are about to become a vessel of provision for others. You will feed families, support communities, build dreams, and fund visions. God is giving you wealth not to make you proud, but to make you powerful for good. You will be the answer to the prayers of many. But remember this truth: wealth without wisdom is waste. God's blessings require stewardship. When He fills your bank account, ask Him for guidance on how to use it. Not every opportunity deserves your investment. Not every request deserves your money. Divine wealth is meant to multiply when directed by divine instruction. If you manage it wisely, it will grow beyond generations. You will not only be blessed, you will establish a legacy of provision that your children, their children will walk in. Do not be surprised when people begin to notice the change in your life. They will wonder how it happened. They will question your methods, but you will know it was God. It was His favor that opened doors, His mercy that covered mistakes, His plan that orchestrated every divine connection. Stay humble, for humility keeps the flow of wealth alive. Pride stops blessing. Gratitude multiplies them. Each time you thank God for what you have, you make room for more. Even now, God is arranging things in your favor. There are contracts waiting to be signed, accounts ready to be credited, ideas waiting to be funded. You may not see it yet, but heaven is not silent. The spiritual transaction has already taken place. It is only a matter of time before it manifests in your reality. You must continue to declare, God is my source. My account will overflow because God has spoken increase over my life. Keep speaking it, because your words create the environment for miracles. What you confess consistently becomes your experience. Some of you are worried because you have made financial mistakes in the past. You think that because you failed before, you have lost your chance. But God does not operate by human records. His mercy rewrites your story. What you lost, He can restore in double measure. Do not let guilt make you believe that you are disqualified. If anything, your failures have qualified you to handle success with wisdom. God is the master of restoration. He specializes in giving people more than they lost. When you begin to see signs of divine increase, don't slow down your faith. This is the time to trust even deeper, because when God opens the floodgates, your faith must expand to receive it. Do not be afraid of big numbers. Do not doubt your capacity to manage abundance. God would not fill your account if He had not already expanded your spirit to handle it. He keeps before He delivers. He strengthens before He supplies. The days of survival are ending. You are moving into a season of surplus. What once drained you will now bless you. The same work that once barely sustained you will now overflow with profit. People who used to pity you will look to you for wisdom. God is rewriting your financial destiny. You are no longer the borrower. You are becoming the lender. You will no longer chase after opportunities. They will chase after you. God is placing a divine mark of abundance upon your life. You must understand that when God fills your bank account, it is not just about numbers, it is about influence. Wealth gives your voice in places that would otherwise ignore you. God is about to position you in places of impact. Your generosity will shift systems, your ideas will change economies, and your giving will become a form of worship. God is raising you not just as a recipient of wealth, but as a distributor of it. You see, when God decides to lift a person, no force on earth can pull them down. When God declares increase over your life, even the systems designed to keep you poor will begin to favor you. This is how divine wealth operates. It does not need permission from the world to manifest. It flows directly from the authority of God. Some of you have been overlooked for too long. You have been faithful. You have worked hard. You have prayed, and yet it felt as if nothing was changing. But I tell you, the season of silence was never punishment. It was preparation. God was aligning the right circumstances so that when the blessing comes, you will not lose it. He was teaching you endurance, integrity, and discipline, because these are the foundation that hold the true wealth. God never pours His abundance into a heart that still doubts His faithfulness. That is why He allowed certain delays to build your faith until it could sustain what He is about to release. Many people collapse under the weight of blessings they were not ready for. But you, yes, you have been trained in the fire. Every disappointment was a lesson. Every loss was a setup for gain. Every night you cried was watering the seeds of your harvest. And now, the ground is fertile. The harvest is near. The wind of divine provision is blowing toward you, and it carries your name on it. The wealth that God is about to release into your hand is not just for comfort, it is for calling. God blesses people not so they can boast, but so they can build. You are about to become an instrument of transformation. Your prosperity will be the proof that faith works. Your abundance will silence the mockery of those who said you would never rise. God is not filling your account merely to add the numbers, but to add the influence, to add the reach, to add the impact. You will finance visions. You will lift others. You will open doors for those who had no key. That is the true purpose of wealth, to serve the divine will of God on earth. Many think that wealth is evil, but the truth is this: wealth in the wrong hands is dangerous, but wealth in the hands of the righteous is divine power. God is raising a generation that will hold wealth without worshiping it, that will use money as a servant and not as a master. He is calling you to that level, to rise beyond survival into stewardship. When you manage what you have with faithfulness, God multiplies it. That is why the little you have now is not insignificant. It is a seed. When you sow it in obedience, it becomes the doorway to the overflow. Hear this clearly. Poverty is not God's design for your life. Scarcity is not your destiny. God does not delight in watching you beg for what He already prepared for you. You were created to walk in divine abundance, to manifest the fullness of His provision. Everything on earth belongs to God, and you are His creation. Why then would He withhold what is His from you? The delay you have faced is not a denial. It is divine timing. God gives at the appointed time, not when your fear demands it, but when your spirit is mature enough to receive it. Some of you are about to experience financial miracles that defy logic. Money will appear from unexpected places. Debts will be canceled without reason. Contracts you forgot will resurface with greater rewards. You will receive calls that change your financial destiny overnight. This is not fantasy. It is the manifestation of divine favor. When God decides to reward the faithful, He does it in ways that human minds cannot calculate. He will use strangers, system, and circumstances to serve your destiny. You will stand in awe and say, "This is the doing of God." But listen, the moment you begin to receive, never let pride enter your heart. Remember the source. Gratitude is the magnet that keeps blessings flowing. The more thankful you are, the more God entrusts to you. Thank Him not only for what you see, but for what you are expecting. Gratitude is faith in action. It declares that you already believe the promise before you see it fulfilled. And when your gratitude rises like incense to heaven, God releases more. Some of you have been taught to fear money. You were told that wanting abundance is wrong. But let me tell you, desiring the manifestation of God's blessing is not greed. It is alignment. God placed the vision of prosperity in your heart because He wants you to live in provision, not in lack. The enemy uses poverty to humiliate, to limit, to silence the faithful. But God uses wealth to empower, to expand, to glorify His name through your success. Do not apologize for expecting more. You are not asking too much. You are asking the right source. The wealth that is coming will not corrupt you because God has already purified your motives. You no longer desire money for vanity. You desire it for purpose. That is why you are chosen for this divine transfer. God will not give wealth to those who use it to oppress others. He will give it to those who will use it to uplift others. Your increase will become an answer to prayers you have not even heard. You will bless those who never expected help. You will become the channel of divine kindness. When God begins to fill your account, there will be distraction. People will appear to test your character. Some will flatter you, others will envy you. But do not lose your peace. Protect your spirit, because what God gives must be guarded. Wealth without spiritual grounding becomes weakness, but wealth anchored in faith becomes strength. Stay centered in humility. Speak to God daily about your direction. Seek His wisdom in every transaction, because divine wisdom is the greatest wealth. Without it, even gold becomes dust. And let me tell you this truth. Divine wealth is not limited to money. When God fills your account, He fills every area of peace in your home, strength in your body, clarity in your mind, and joy in your spirit. True wealth is the balance of provision and peace. What good is money if your heart is restless? What value is profit if your mind is burdened? God's blessings come with harmony. When He blesses you, He removes sorrow from the equation. Your wealth will not be the kind that torments you. It will be the kind that uplifts you. You are entering the season where what you touch will prosper. You will look at your work and see multiplication. You will see fruit where there was once barrenness. You will start projects that attract divine speed. It will not be normal. It will be supernatural. God will breathe upon your ideas, and they will come alive. The same hand that once struggled to survive will now distribute abundance. You will become a fountain that never runs dry. There will be moments when you will not even understand how it happened. The blessings will come so quickly, you will be in awe. But that is how God moves. He accelerates when the time is right. He will redeem lost years through one breakthrough. You thought you lost time, but God is about to compress decades of blessings into one divine moment. What took others a lifetime will come to you in a single season, because God has remembered you. And when it happens, remain generous. The more you give, the more you grow. Wealth dies when it is held, but multiplies when it is shared. Every act of generosity opens another door of divine supply. Give freely, not out of obligation, but out of revelation that everything you own belongs to God. You are merely the vessel He chose to carry His abundance. When you live like that, you will never lack, because a vessel that keeps flowing can never be empty. You must also understand that divine wealth comes with divine responsibility. God will begin to use you to solve problems around you. You will see need that others ignore, and your heart will burn to act. That is not coincidence. It is divine assignment. Every burden you feel for the broken, the poor, the helpless. It is a signal that God is about to use you to bring relief. He fills your bank account so you can fill the lives of others. This is how His blessings multiply across the earth. So rise in faith. Begin to see yourself as God sees you, not as a struggler, but as a steward of divine prosperity. Speak boldly about what you believe. Declare that your account is blessed, your hands are favored, your path is prosperous. Words shape reality. When you align your speech with faith, your circumstances begin to obey. Stop saying, I am broke. Stop saying, I can't. Every negative word is a withdrawal from your spiritual account. Start making deposits of faith through your declarations. Say, God is my provider. My account overflows. My work is blessed. My doors are open. The more you speak it, the faster it manifests. You are about to witness what happens when heaven partners with your obedience. God is bringing divine partnerships, investors, ideas, and mentors your way. Do not fear the new connections. God is orchestrating them for your increase. There are people assigned to your prosperity. Some of them you will meet by accident, but in truth, it will be divine design. Every encounter is part of the greater plan. God's timing is perfect. You may think it's late, but to God, it is always on schedule. The blessing delayed is not the blessing denied. It is simply being refined, prepared, multiplied. When it comes, it will make sense why it took time. The waiting will no longer hurt because the reward will heal every wound. You will look back and realize that every struggle was worth it. Do you know why God sometimes waits before releasing abundance? Because He wants you to understand that true wealth begins in the unseen. Before money ever reaches your account, it must first enter your mind and your heart. The richest people in spirit are not those with gold in their hands, but those with faith in their souls. God is teaching you to think like a steward, not a survivor. He is teaching you to speak like someone who already possesses abundance. Because when your thoughts align with the divine truth, your reality has no choice but to follow. You cannot walk in overflow while thinking in limitation. You cannot attract divine wealth while entertaining fear. Faith is the gateway through which God's blessings flow. And that faith must live in your daily decisions, not only in your prayers. There is a divine law that governs increase. God multiplies what is placed in His hands. If you hold tightly to what you have, it remains small. But if you release it with trust, it becomes multiplied. God's economy does not operate by logic, it operates by faith. When you give, you are not losing, you are planting. Every act of generosity becomes a seed in the soil of heaven. And when heaven's rain falls, the harvest that returns is always greater than what was sown. That is why many miss their miracle. They try to store what they should be sowing. God is not asking you to give because He needs your money. He asks because He wants to enlarge your capacity. Every time you let go in faith, you make room for more. There will come a time, and it is soon, when you will see that every season of lack was a test of trust. God does not test you to destroy you. He tests you to prepare you. Every financial storm you faced was training for the abundance to come. You learned to depend on God when nothing else worked. You learned to see beyond numbers and believe beyond region. That is the kind of faith that heaven responds to. God never ignores faith that refuses to quit. Your prayers have not gone unheard. The silence you felt was not absence, it was construction. God was building your foundation, setting your structure, aligning your path. He cannot pour new blessings into a weak vessel. He had to strengthen you first. Now that your heart has been purified, you are ready to receive what others cannot handle. God is not giving you temporary success. He is giving you sustainable prosperity. Temporary wealth fades, but divine wealth endures. The riches God provides are protected by His wisdom. He gives you not only increase, but the discernment to manage it. That is why your growth may have seemed slow. It is because God was anchoring you deeply, so that when the storm of abundance comes, you will not be uprooted by pride. Every delay was a shield, not a punishment. Every no was a protection from what would have hurt you. God's wait is never rejection. It is divine timing preparing to surprise you with more than you expected. Listen closely, there is a shift happening. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but it has already begun in the spirit. Doors that were locked are turning on their hinges. Ideas that were buried are resurfacing with greater clarity. You will wake up one morning and everything will make sense. The connections, the hardships, the lessons, they were all pieces of a larger puzzle. When God completes the picture, you will see how every struggle was necessary. Because divine wealth is not just about what you have, it's about who you become while receiving it. Some of you are afraid of wealth because you've seen what greed can do. But when God blesses you, He blesses your intentions along with your possessions. You will not fall into arrogance or vanity, because your heart will stay anchored in gratitude. You will see money as a means, not a master. You will understand that wealth is not your identity, it is your responsibility. God blesses the humble because they remember that everything belongs to Him. When you hold wealth loosely, He keeps refilling your hands. When you cling to it tightly, it slips away. So keep your palms open. Let generosity be your rhythm. Let kindness be your signature. Because the more you flow, the more you grow. I want you to understand something very deep. Divine wealth is not earned, it is entrusted. It is not the result of your worthiness, but of God's purpose. God chooses to bless you not because you are perfect, but because He wants to reveal His power through your life. He wants people to look at you and say, only God could have done this. Your story is about to become evidence of His reality. The same people who once doubted you will witness your transformation. They will see your rise and know that faith is not a fantasy. God is using your life as a living message that obedience brings reward. But be cautious when increase arrives, so does distraction. Wealth can draw noise into your life. Many voices will seek your attention. Some will praise you, others will envy you, and a few will try to pull you off course. That is why you must stay rooted in prayer. Wealth without spiritual grounding is like a river without borders. It floods and destroys. Keep talking to God about every decision. Seek His direction in your investments, in your partnership, in your spending. God does not want you to simply have money. He wants you to have a mastery over it. True prosperity is peace, not pressure. And hear me well, you are not waiting for money. Money is waiting for you. It is waiting for your mindset to align with purpose. It is waiting for your spirit to mature into stewardship. When you finally see yourself as the vessel of God's abundance, resources will begin to chase you. The energy of faith attracts what doubt repels. The moment you start declaring, I am a carrier of divine provision, I am a vessel of God's wealth, you shift the atmosphere around you. Opportunities will begin to notice you. People will begin to trust you. Circumstances will begin to align for you. That is not magic. It is divine order responding to belief. Let me tell you another secret. God often hides wealth in work. The job you complain about might be the field where your harvest is buried. The idea you keep postponing could be the seed of your abundance. The skill you ignore might be the tool God wants to use to open financial doors. Do not despise the small beginnings. God hides big miracles inside ordinary actions. When you walk with excellence, even in obscurity, heaven takes notice. The hands that serve diligently are the same hands God fills abundantly. There is also a divine mystery in movement. When God gives you an instruction, it often looks illogical. He may tell you to give when you need to receive, to move when you want to stay, to speak when you prefer silence. But behind every instruction lies increase. The river of divine wealth flows in the direction of obedience. When you act on God's command, you activate supernatural provision. The greatest miracles in life do not happen because of knowledge. They happen because of obedience. Now listen, with your spirit, you have entered a season where things will happen suddenly. Divine acceleration is taking place. The opportunities you were chasing will now chase you. The doors you knocked on for years will open on their own. The business you struggled to build will suddenly flourish. The relationships you need will appear without striving. This is not coincidence. It is a divine orchestration. When the heavens declare that it is your time, the earth must align. No delay can hold back what God has scheduled. And in this season, you must carry the consciousness of abundance wherever you go. Stop thinking like a beggar when you serve the Creator of the universe. Stop shrinking your dreams to fit your fear. God cannot pour greatness into small expectations. Lift your thoughts, lift your words, lift your prayers. Ask boldly, believe boldly, expect boldly, because you serve a God who gives without measure. You do not need to beg, just believe. You do not need to chase, just trust. When your heart is aligned, what is meant for you cannot miss you. Soon, you will see numbers you never imagined. You will sign contracts you never dreamed of. You will manage resources that once seemed impossible. But none of it will overwhelm you, because God will have prepared your soul to handle it. You will walk in peace amidst abundance. You will remain generous amidst success. You will remember that everything flows from the source. This is the kind of wealth that cannot be lost because it is anchored in the eternal, not the temporary. And even as your bank account fills, you will feel a deeper joy, not just in having, but in helping. You will understand the sacred joy of giving. You will feed the hungry, educate the forgotten, and empower the broken. That is how God multiplies blessings, by turning the blessed into blessings for others. You will look at the smile of someone you help and realize that this is the true meaning of wealth, to be a vessel of God's compassion expressed through provision. The time has come for the faithful to rise. God is transferring resources from the hand of those who misuse them to those who honor Him. The world is shifting. The wealth of the selfish will find its way into the hand of the righteous. And those who once struggled in silence will now rise in strength. God is creating a new flow of abundance in this generation, and you are part of it. You are not watching this by accident. You are hearing this because heaven has chosen you as a carrier of divine prosperity. Do not fear what is coming. Prepare for it. The blessing will be heavy, but you will have the strength to carry. The abundance will be great, but you will have the wisdom to manage it. The opportunities will be many, but you will have the discernment to choose well. Because God never gives you what will destroy you. He only gives you what will develop you. He fills your bank account only when He has already filled your soul with strength, humility, and purpose. So lift your head high and declare it, I am ready for divine abundance. I am ready for financial overflow. I am ready for the wealth God has ordained for me. Say it until every cell in your body believes it. Because words shape destiny. Speak wealth until it becomes your reality. Speak favor until it finds you. Speak prosperity until it overflows. You are not just hoping for blessings, you are commanding them through faith. And as you walk into this new chapter, know this truth deeply. Your abundance will glorify God, not your ego. Your wealth will testify of His goodness, not your genius. Your prosperity will point back to His power, not your plans. Because when God fills your account, He fills it so the world can see that He is still the God who provides. And no man, no system, no economy can reverse that. The divine decree has been spoken, your time of lack has ended, and your season of overflow has begun. God is about to fill your bank account, and your life will never be the same again. When God is about to release wealth into your life, He will not begin with the comfort. He will begin with the testing. Many people cry out for abundance, yet they are unaware that God does not entrust wealth to the unproven. God will not pour gold into a vessel that leaks, nor will He hand over divine resources to a heart that is still ruled by pride, fear, or greed. Before He blesses you with abundance, He must first test your spirit to see if you can carry it without destroying yourself. You see, the test always comes before the treasure. The pressure always comes before the promotion. The silence always comes before the sound of multiplication. There is a moment in every believer's life when God begins to strip away the illusion of control. He removes the false securities. He closes doors that you once thought were your lifeline. He allows certain people to walk away. He takes you into a season where your skills, your wisdom, and your strength are not enough. And you begin to ask God, why? But the real question is not why. It is, what is God preparing me for? Because every test is proof that something greater is on the horizon. God is not trying to destroy you. He is preparing you for divine trust. Wealth in God's kingdom is not simply about money. It is about stewardship. God must first see that you can handle the invisible before He entrusts you with the visible. When God tests you before wealth, He observes your reaction to lack. Do you complain? Or do you praise Him anyway? Do you panic? Or do you rest in His faithfulness? God listens not to your words, but to your attitude. Many say, if I had more, I would be more generous. But God says, if you are not generous now, you will not be generous later. Because generosity is not born in abundance, it is born in gratitude. When God tests you, He hides abundance behind adversity. He hides opportunity inside opposition. He hides increase behind inconvenience. Why? Because He wants to see if you can still believe when everything in front of you tells you not to. There is a wilderness before every promised land. And in that wilderness, God examines your heart. He watches what you do when nobody is watching. He observes your integrity when temptation whispers shortcuts. He looks at your discipline when no one is clapping. You see, wealth is heavy. It requires character to carry. If God were to bless you prematurely, the blessing could break you. So He purifies you. He refines you in the fire of hidden seasons. He delays the harvest not because He has forgotten you, but because He is strengthening your roots. The longer the preparation, the stronger the foundation. When you are being tested, it feels as if everything you touch falls apart. You pray, but the heavens seem silent. You work, but results seem delayed. You give, but the return seems hidden. Yet that is when God is closest to you. The silence of God is not His absence, it is His inspection. He is watching to see if you will remain faithful without the applause, if you will still sow when nothing seems to grow, if you will still thank Him when nothing seems to move. God used these moments to separate the seekers from the pretenders, the faithful from the fickle, the committed from the convenient. He must be certain that your loyalty is to Him, not to what He gives. Wealth is a sacred assignment. It is not given for self-exaltation, but for divine purpose. That is why the test is so personal, so intense, and sometimes so painful. God will expose every idol that hides within your heart. He will confront every dependence that is not Him. He will take you to a place where only your faith can feed you. You will stand at the edge of uncertainty, and it will seem like everything is collapsing, but in truth, everything false is collapsing so that everything real can rise. Some people cry when doors close, not realizing that the door was never meant to lead to destiny. God will close doors that lead to comfort, so He can open gates that lead to purpose. He will allow loss that feels unfair, because hidden in that loss is the seed of future increase. You may feel stripped, but you are being positioned. You may feel delayed, but you are being refined. Every time you choose to trust God instead of your fear, you pass a divine test. Every time you choose to honor God with a little, you prove that you can be trusted with much. The test of wealth is never about money, it is about mastery. Can you master your desires? Or will your desires master you? Can you stay humble when resources increase? Can you still depend on God when your accounts are full? Many pray for wealth, but forget that wealth magnifies whatever is inside you. If pride lives in your heart, money will multiply it. If greed hides within you, money will expose it. But if humility and gratitude dwell in you, wealth will become a weapon for divine good. That is why God delays some blessing until you are spiritually mature enough to use them correctly. There will be seasons when God takes you through financial dryness, not to punish you, but to teach you divine order. He teaches you to prioritize purpose over pleasure, mission over material, and obedience over opportunity. God will allow you to experience moments where everything that once worked stops working, just to show you that your true source is not a paycheck, not a business, not a connection, it is Him. When you understand that, you graduate from survival to stewardship, and stewardship is the gate to divine wealth. When God begins to test you, He will allow circumstances that seem unfair. People may misunderstand you. Your efforts may go unnoticed, but God is watching how you handle obscurity. If you can stay faithful in hidden places, He can trust you in high places. The reason some never see divine abundance is that they fail the test of anonymity. They crave recognition before they build a revelation. But God does not promote noise. He promotes faithfulness. When you learn to walk with God without needing validation, He will reveal you to the world without explanation. There is a sacred pattern in the way God promotes. First the test, then the trust, then the treasure. The test proves your dependence. The trust deepens your character, and the treasure manifests your obedience. You cannot skip any stage. If you try to grasp the blessing without passing the test, what you gain will slip away. But if you allow the process to shape you, what God gives will stay. Remember this, God's preparation always feels like isolation before elevation. In those testing moments, your prayers will shift. You will stop asking God, why me? And start asking, what are you teaching me? Because the test is never to expose your weakness, it is to reveal your readiness. When God tests you with the small assignments, He is measuring your ability to carry large responsibilities. He watches how you treat what seems insignificant. Do you serve with excellence even when it doesn't benefit you? Do you give with joy even when nobody sees it? Every unseen act of obedience is a deposit in your spiritual account. When the appointed time comes, God releases what has been stored up in your favor. You must also understand this. When God is testing you before wealth, He will allow you to witness others being blessed. This is not to provoke jealousy, but to purify it. Can you celebrate another's success without questioning your own timeline? Can you bless those who rise before you without resentment? This test reveals whether your heart can handle prosperity without comparison. God does not bless bitterness, He blesses faith. The moment you can genuinely rejoice in another's blessing, you signal to heaven that you are ready for your own. Many people abort their divine wealth because they interpret testing as rejection. They say, God must not care for me. But they fail to see that the silence is actually His training ground. God does not build champions in comfort. He builds them in pressure. Every giant of faith has walked through the desert of delay. They learn to trust God's plan even when their emotions could not understand it. And that is the ultimate test. Will you obey God even when His process makes no sense? You see, the longer God tests you, the greater the assignment that waits ahead. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Every tear you shed in obedience is watering the ground for your future harvest. Every disappointment is a divine redirection. Every delay is a secret investment in your spiritual maturity. God's timing is not slow, it is strategic. When He finally releases wealth into your hands, you will not only have abundance, you will have a wisdom. You will not only have a resources, you will have a revelation. And that is why the process is sacred, because it transforms what you have into who you are. When you reach the moment of divine release, you will look back and realize that what you thought was pain was protection. God was protecting you from premature exposure, from wrong alliances, from misplaced confidence. He was shielding you from the kind of success that destroys rather than builds. He was cleansing your motives, refining your focus, aligning your heart with His will. And when that alignment comes, you will no longer chase wealth. Wealth will begin to chase you because God trusts you now. So if you are in a season of a testing, do not despise it. Thank God for it. For it means He is considering you for promotion. The depth of your struggle reveals the height of your destiny. The weight of your battle reveals the size of your blessing. Every challenge is a divine classroom. Every hardship is a lesson in trust. Every closed door is a reminder that your supply comes from above. Do not measure your worth by what you have lost. Measure it by how much you have learned to depend on God. The wealth that comes from God is not only external, it is internal. It is the peace that cannot be bought, the wisdom that cannot be stolen, the confidence that cannot be shaken. And that inner wealth is what sustains the outer one. God tests you to ensure that your soul is stronger than your bank account, that your heart is deeper than your pockets, that your values are higher than your ambitions. For what use is abundance if your spirit is poor? What value is gold if gratitude is gone? God's tests are not meant to break you, they are meant to reveal you, to separate who you pretend to be from who you are called to be. When the tests come, embrace them with faith. Stand firm with gratitude. Speak words of trust when others speak of doubt, because your response determines your release. God is watching, not to condemn, but to confirm that you are ready for what you have been praying for. And when the test is complete, when you have learned to trust God in lack, when you have praised Him in silence, when you have obeyed Him without explanation, then the doors of divine wealth will open not as a surprise, but as a confirmation. You will realize that it was never about chasing the blessing. It was about becoming the kind of person who could carry it. When God begins to test you before sending wealth, He doesn't test your comfort. He tests your conviction. He doesn't test your possessions. He tests your patience. He doesn't test what you can gain. He tests what you can endure. Because true wealth is not a sudden deposit of gold or status. It is slow refining of the soul. God does not reward impatience. He rewards faith that refuses to die in the dark. If you are crying in secret, waiting for a breakthrough, understand this. The delay is not denial, it is divine development. God is shaping something in you that money could never buy. He's building the discipline that will keep you standing when wealth begins to flow. There are moments when God hides opportunities behind failure. You may lose a job, a business may collapse, or the plans you worked for years may suddenly dissolve. But that is not loss, it is repositioning. God is never subtracting. He is redirecting. He will strip away what was never yours to reveal what has always been waiting for you. Many cry when the old chapter closes, not realizing that God had to end it so He could open a greater one. Sometimes you cannot see what He's doing until you are standing in the new place He was preparing for you all along. God's test before wealth often comes through people. He will allow betrayal to expose your maturity. He will allow misunderstanding to reveal your heart. When people mistreat you, God is not showing you their weakness. He is revealing your strength. Can you stay kind when others are cruel? Can you keep your peace when others provoke you? Can you continue to walk in integrity when no one is acknowledging it? This is where many fail. They want the wealth, but they are not ready for the weight of it. For the higher God lifts you, the more grace and humility you will need to sustain it. Every test is a divine question. Can you still trust God when you do not understand Him? Can you obey without evidence? Can you continue to sow when there is no harvest in sight? Wealth requires the faith to act on unseen instruction. When God tells you to give what you need, to build what you cannot afford, or to trust when logic says it's impossible, He is not mocking you, He's preparing you. He is teaching you that obedience brings overflow, that faith brings provision, and that surrender brings security. When God begins to elevate you, He will test you with exposure. People will start noticing your gifts, your influence, your ideas, but He will watch to see if you remain humble. Pride is the enemy of divine wealth because it shifts the focus from the source to the self. God will never promote arrogance. He promotes those who recognize that everything they have is borrowed from His grace. If you can stay small in your heart while God makes you great in the world, you have passed one of the highest tests of divine trust. There will also be tests of distraction. When doors start opening, not every door is divine. Some are detours disguised as opportunities. The enemy knows he cannot stop what God has ordained, so he distracts with counterfeit success. He offers something fast, something shiny, something that looks like progress but carries no purpose. This is why discernment is part of God's testing process. Can you tell the difference between what is good and what is God? Can you walk away from something profitable if it pulls you away from peace? Wealth that costs you your connection to God is not wealth, it is a trap. When God tests you, He is not trying to find out who you are. He already knows. The test is for you to discover who you have become. Testing exposes your inner strength, reveals your hidden weakness, and prepares you for greater responsibility. You cannot conquer what you have not confronted. God will bring you face to face with your own limitations so that you may learn to lean entirely on Him. In the end, the test is never about provision, it is about perspective. If you can see God's hand in the hardship, you have already won half the battle. Many think wealth is about receiving, but in God's kingdom, wealth begins with releasing. You must release control, release fear, release resentment, release your own timing. God cannot fill what is already full. When you empty yourself of anxiety and pride, you make room for divine abundance. The wealth that God brings is drawn to humility and obedience. You cannot beg your way into divine favor. You must grow your way into it. God increases those who have learned to depend completely on Him. There is a point in every test when the pressure intensifies. That moment is not to crush you, it is to crown you. The closer you are to your breakthrough, the harder the test becomes. When it feels unbearable, that is the signal that the season of release is near. God often hides your harvest in your hardest moment. The night grows darkest right before the dawn. So when everything in you feels tired, do not retreat. Keep moving, keep trusting, keep sowing in faith, because soon the test will turn into testimony. You must also understand that the test before wealth is not only external, it happens inside your mind. God will challenge your thinking before He changes your circumstances. You cannot carry a millionaire's blessing with a beggar's mindset. You must think in alignment with the divine abundance. God tests you by allowing lack to teach you creativity, not defeat. When you are short on resources, it is because He wants to expand your imagination. He wants you to see solutions where others see scarcity. That is how you become a vessel of divine innovation. True wealth flows through mind that can think beyond the fear and act beyond the comfort. Another form of God's test comes through timing. He will make you wait, not because He is late, but because He is building endurance. Waiting is not wasted time, it is divine preparation. Many lose their blessing because they cannot handle delay. They want quick results, but quick results produce shallow roots. God wants your blessing to last, not just appear. So He stretches time to stretch your trust. When you learn to wait without complaining, when you can praise without proof, you have passed one of the hardest tests of faith. Wealth requires patience because sudden success without structure can destroy a person. God will not give you what you cannot manage. So He teaches you to organize your life while you wait. He trains you in discipline, in stewardship, in focus. Every time you plan, save, and manage your current resources wisely, you are signaling to heaven that you are ready for increase. God blesses order. He blesses those who prepare in private before He promotes them in public. There is also the test of gratitude. God watches how you respond to small blessings. If you cannot be thankful for what you have now, you will not be content with what you receive later. Gratitude attracts increase because it acknowledges the source. Every time you thank God sincerely, you multiply the energy of abundance around you. But when you complain, you repel it. Gratitude turns ordinary days into miracles. It transforms scarcity into sufficiency. It proves that your heart is ready to carry more. When God tests you, He will also test your relationship. Wealth requires wisdom in choosing who walks with you. Not everyone around you is meant to go where God is taking you. Sometimes He removes people quietly and you feel betrayed, but in truth, He is protecting you. You cannot carry divine wealth while being surrounded by those who drain your faith. God will test whether you can walk alone. If it means staying aligned with Him, He will test whether you choose peace over popularity, purpose over approval. The ability to walk alone in obedience is one of the highest qualifications for divine wealth. You must also understand that the test of wealth is the test of humility. When abundance finally begins to flow, will you remember where it came from? Will you still pray with the same urgency? Will you still give with the same passion? God's test does not end. When the wealth arrives, it begins anew. Because true wealth is sustained not by strategy, but by surrender. The same dependence that brought the blessing is what keeps it. God's testing is never to deprive you, it is to define you. He is not withholding the blessing, He is molding the vessel. If you are being stretched, it is because God sees capacity in you that you have not yet discovered. He is drawing out your hidden strength through pressure. Every challenge you face is unlocking a new dimension of endurance and faith. You are being sculpted for significance. The fire you feel now will one day be the light that guides others. When wealth finally comes, you will recognize that it was never really about the money, it was about the mission. God blesses you so that you can become a blessing. He tests you so that you can teach others how to overcome. He increases you so that you can impact generations. Divine wealth is not accumulation, it is assignment. It carries responsibility, purpose, and divine expectation. And those who pass the test before wealth are not just rich, they are trusted. So when you feel pressed, when doors close, when people walk away, do not curse the moment. Thank God for it. For He is proving your faith, sharpening your vision, purifying your motives. He is removing what is temporary to prepare you for what is eternal. The test may be hard, but it is holy. It may be painful, but it is purposeful. You may not see it now, but one day you will look back and realize that every trial was a stepping stone to your divine destiny. The greatest evidence that God is about to bless you is not comfort, it is contradiction. Everything seems opposite to what He promised. Yet deep in your spirit, there is peace. That peace is the confirmation that you are exactly where you should be. God is aligning the unseen forces in your favor. He is orchestrating events, preparing people, and designing opportunities that will unfold when the time is right. And when it happens, it will not be gradual, it will be sudden. Divine wealth comes like a flood when God has finished His testing. There comes a time when God begins to test your inner strength through silence. Silence is not absence. It is sacred examination. When God hides His voice, He is not ignoring you. He is observing you. He wants to see whether your faith depends on feelings or on conviction. It is easy to trust when the signs are clear and the doors open freely, but the real test of trust begins when there are no signs, no confirmation, no visible progress. In that silence, God is whispering through circumstance, through delay, through stillness. He's asking, will you hold on to my promise even when you hear nothing? For in silence, your spiritual ears grow sharper. In silence, your dependence on God deepens. Those who cannot stand the silence are not ready for the sound of abundance, because wealth without spiritual stability will collapse under its own weight. When God tests you, He may take away everything that made you feel secure. The people you depended on may walk away. The resources you counted on may vanish. Your plans may fall apart like sand in your hands. This is not punishment, it is purification. God removes every false support so that you may discover the solid ground of His presence. He wants you to know that your true foundation is not built on connections, credentials, or possession. It is built on faith. When you finally understand that everything else can be taken, but God remains, you have passed one of the most powerful tests of divine maturity. There will also be times when the test comes through waiting. Waiting is the furnace where faith is refined. Many people fail the test of waiting because they mistake delay for denial. But God delays only to develop. He will never give a gift before the receiver is ready. If you are asking God for something that has not yet come, do not think He has forgotten you. He is preparing you, and He is preparing what belongs to you. The moment your character and your calling align, the release will come swiftly, and you will realize that the waiting was necessary. God cannot release abundance into hands that are still learning obedience. There is another level of testing that few understand, the test of exposure. When you begin to experience small breakthroughs, small moments of success, small signs of progress, God watches to see how you handle it. Do you give glory to yourself, or do you give glory to Him? Do you become careless with the principles that once kept you disciplined? Many fall when they experience early success because they begin to think they are the source of their own prosperity. God will sometimes allow you to touch the edge of success and then pull it back just to reveal your heart. If you can remain humble even when the spotlight shines, God will trust you with true greatness. You see, the journey to divine wealth is not a straight path. It is a sacred circle of testing, trusting, and transforming. Each test purifies you. Each waiting season strengthens you. Each loss redirects you. God is not interested in temporary abundance. He is shaping eternal responsibility. That is why His tests are not meant to make you famous, but to make you faithful. He knows that one faithful soul can do more with little than 100 careless ones can do with plenty. So He teaches you to value discipline over display, patience over pressure, and wisdom over waste. God also tests you through your reactions to correction. When He shows you your flaws, do you defend them or do you change? Many cry out for increase but refuse instruction. They want abundance without accountability. Yet God blesses those who listen. He will send wisdom disguised as discomfort. He will place mentors, challenges, and even failures in your path to shape your understanding. If you can humble yourself and learn from every experience, no matter how painful, you are proving that you are teachable, and teachable hearts attract transformation. Another powerful test is the test of secrecy. Can you serve God faithfully when no one is applauding you? Can you give generously without expecting recognition? Can you pray in hidden rooms when there is no audience to admire your devotion? God often measures greatness by what happens in private. What you do unseen determines what God does for you publicly. If your motives remain pure when no one is watching, if your integrity remains intact when there is no reward in sight, then you are walking in the divine pattern that precedes promotion. Sometimes God will test your relationship with wealth by letting you taste both lack and abundance. There will be days when you have more than enough and days when you have almost nothing. This contrast is divine training. In lack, He teaches you gratitude. In abundance, He teaches you stewardship. The wise understand that both seasons are necessary. The one who learns to manage scarcity will handle plenty with humility. The one who learns to share in abundance will never fear loss again. God tests your heart through your habits. How you handle what you have now reveals how you will handle more later. The tests also come through giving. God will ask you to give something precious, not because He wants to take it, but because He wants to free you from it. What you are unwilling to release owns you. Every act of giving breaks the chain of attachment and teaches your spirit that nothing you possess is greater than the one who gave it. When God tests you through giving, He is measuring your trust. Can you trust that what you release will return multiplied? Can you believe that you will never lack when your heart remains generous? The truth is simple. God cannot pour into a closed hand. Sometimes God will even test your emotions. He will allow disappointment, delay, or misunderstanding to test your self-control. Wealth requires emotional maturity. If you are easily shaken by offense, easily discouraged by setbacks, or easily influenced by praise, you are not yet ready for the next level. God refines your emotions to make you steady. He teaches you to respond with wisdom instead of reaction, with peace instead of panic. True wealth is sustained by inner stability. A calm spirit is stronger than a full bank account because it cannot be stolen or corrupted. There will be moments when God tests your courage. He will ask you to take steps of faith that make no sense to human logic. He may tell you to leave what is familiar, to invest in something uncertain, or to walk away from something comfortable. These are not random challenges, they are divine invitation. God is saying, do you trust me enough to move when you cannot see? The wealth He gives is reserved for those who walk by faith, not fear. If you can step into the unknown with obedience, the unseen doors will open before you. Every test from God carries a hidden message. I am preparing you to be unshakable. Because when divine wealth comes, the world will test you again with flattery, temptation, and pride. Only those who have endured the fire of God's testing can withstand the storms of success. The process may seem long, but remember, gold cannot shine without fire, and faith cannot mature without trials. God refines you because He intends to display you. He perfects you in silence so that when the time comes, your light cannot be dimmed by circumstance. Some of the most painful tests are those that challenge your vision. God will show you glimpses of the future, but not the full picture. He gives you dreams that seem too large for your current resources. That is deliberate. He does not give you all the pieces because He wants you to trust Him for the missing parts. The distance between the vision and the fulfillment is the distance that builds a faith. The longer the wait, the deeper the roots of your trust. When you finally arrive, you will realize that the process gave you something more valuable than the promise. It gave you divine strength. When God tests you, He is writing your story of resilience. Each trial becomes a testimony. Each loss becomes a lesson. And each delay becomes a declaration of His faithfulness. You will not only receive wealth, you will carry wisdom. You will not only gain influence, you will embody integrity. Wealth without wisdom is wasted, but wealth that has been tested through fire becomes an instrument of impact. God is raising a generation of people who will use wealth as a weapon for good, as a tool for healing, and as a channel of purpose. Do not fear the tests that stretch you. They are signs that God is near. Every time you feel pressure, it means heaven is investing in your growth. Every test you pass expands your capacity for blessing. The road may be narrow, but it leads to expansion. The burden may feel heavy, but it births strength. You may feel hidden, but hidden seasons are holy seasons where God plants the seeds of greatness that will one day shake nations. The moment you stop seeing tests as punishment and start seeing them as preparation, your entire life shifts. You no longer run from difficulty, you embrace it with faith. You no longer question the waiting, you grow in it. You no longer chase wealth, you attract it by alignment. Because wealth in God's hands is not about luxury, it is about legacy. It is not about material gain, it is about spiritual authority. God tests you to ensure that when the blessing comes, it will not control you, you will control it. So, if you are being tested right now, rejoice quietly. You are not forgotten, you are chosen. You are not being delayed, you are being developed. Every hidden sacrifice, every private prayer, every act of obedience is being recorded in the invisible realm. The day will come when what was done in silence will be rewarded in sight. God's reward may not come when you expect it, but it always comes when you are ready for it. And when it comes, you will understand why He tested you so deeply, because He intended to bless you beyond measure. And so, endure with faith. Walk through the testing with your head held high. Refuse to give up. Refuse to compromise. Refuse to doubt. For the same God who tested you in the wilderness will exalt you in the harvest. The same God who took you through lack will trust you with the abundance. The same God who hid you in silence will reveal you in light. Your testing is the bridge to your blessing. Stay steadfast. And when the day comes, you will hold in your hands the fruit of your faith, a wealth that serves God's purpose, a wealth that cannot be corrupted, and a wealth that was born through the fire of divine testing.